hear you, but hopefully you can hear us. Sometimes people wonder why our lives are not as loud as our normal videos, because when we edit videos, we can, pump up the volume a little bit. When we're live, we don't really have a way to do that without getting super nerdy, which we might one day, but for now, we're just going to talk loud, and you might have to turn your volume up. Cool? Good morning. It's cold.
It's not really that cold. Can I turn this down a little bit?
Sure.
Point this down. Yeah, it's like unseasonably warm.
No, it's been really nice this week. We've been doing all kinds of work outside, but it is still cold in the mornings. Like, it's a little chilly in the morning still, but it's not super cold. You're giving me the look. I'm sorry. It's not that cold. It's really...
People are dealing with like negative temperatures and we're complaining about 30.
So,
you can't do that.
So my parents are in Tennessee and they got 9 inches of snow.
I think the roads are still icy.
It's real bad over
everything's shut down.
And the funny thing is we had snow like the week before and it was really warm there, and now it's extreme flip-flopped.
It sounds like a flip-flop brand. Extreme flip-flops.
Extreme flip-flops. Yeah.
Let's say adventure flip-flops. Yeah. We should make extreme flip-flops for Arizona train.
Maybe.
Okay.
That's our next venture. No, we have other things to do. Speaking of, what are we talking about today?
So many things.
There's so many things going on. Like, I feel like we say this every time, but when you live on a homestead,
there's always something.
There's always something to do, yeah.
There's always animals that have problems. There's always infrastructure that needs fixed. There's, it's a lot going on right now, and a little bit stressed out.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, let's talk about the projects that everyone here knows about first.
House.
And give some updates.
Okay. We're finishing a course today on our house.
Course number 3.
Yeah, today as soon as we get done with this, we're knocking out 2 walls with the kids. So we're motivated to get that done.
Yeah, and course 3 is going to be, actually the next 2 courses are going to be very important courses in the project. So after we finish course 3, we need to go back and we have to mark all of the walls, every single wall and every single door frame opening. We have to know exactly where those things are.
And you're talking about framed walls,
yes,
between bathrooms and bedrooms.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, we already know where the earthquake walls are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So the reason we need to do that is because once we get up higher, our compass isn't going to reach over those bags, and it's just going to be harder to know where
It'll
things
just
go.
be like putting a level on the side and making sure everything's plumb and being really careful the rest of the way. Yeah. So course 3 will be done today, course 4, and then we can wrap with the hardware cloth and backfill and the vapor barrier. And then that course 5 is super important too, because we're not going to be able to see a lot of bag once everything's wrapped.
There's a big step in course 4. We install our door frames.
Yeah. So people are, why is it taking you so long to build your house? Well, this is why. There's so many little steps at the beginning. I feel like once we get the door frames in and we're past the vapor barrier and hardware cloth, things will go a lot easier.
Yeah. But so I think it'll be good because I feel like we've been just bagging for about 3 weeks. Just bag. So this will be a nice little break. We get to do some other things, get prepped for the next round of bagging.
Yeah.
But it'll be good, yeah.
And also, in a previous video we had talked about, we brought in 20 tons of AB mix to see how many courses we could do with that. Mm-hmm. It's looking like maybe 1.5 courses for 20 tons of AB mix. No, 20 tons? Yeah, it's 20 tons, right?
Right. So we're thinking it's going to be like, what do we say, 600 tons, roughly, to fill all the bags? That's just some fast math. Doesn't include the buttresses.
I'm going to cry a little bit.
Doesn't include anything else that we do. Anyway, it's a lot of dirt, but we've done this before.
And Adela and I were talking about too, when it comes time to do the earth and plaster on the inside, that's probably going to be another 20 tons of dirt. It's a lot.
Yeah, so for those of you wondering why we didn't just pour a pad and start building on it, that's why, because it would just, the whole thing. That's why we spent all that time doing that groundwork, compacting it, putting in the rubble trench, compacting the rubble trenches, because once we build this thing up, it's gonna be real heavy, real heavy.
Yeah, it is super heavy.
Anyway, so that's what's going on at the house.
I feel like there was something else with the house that we were.
I mean, there's some stuff we're thinking about, but I think for the purpose of this live, that's probably probably good. So yeah, course 3 will hopefully be done this weekend, and I would guess the video for that would be coming out next week, maybe.
Hopefully.
So that's, like we said, a very important, exciting step on the house, which is good. Okay, let's talk about the Super Adobe Dome Home.
Yes.
What's going on with that?
Well, we haven't put out the latest video, so how much do I talk about?
We can talk about, so the outside is basically done. We have a few little things left to do, but basically the outside is done and we're moving to the inside. So you probably saw the video about the tiny wood stove. It's not that big, it's like this big. Yeah, so the video, so the wood stove is done, so now we're starting to work on the interior plaster. We're thinking about electric. We're starting to put all that stuff in motion.
Yeah, so next steps are running the electric cord. There's only 2 lines that we need to run.
Very simple.
And then I can finish plastering. And then once the plastering's done, we can put in a floor and build furniture.
Yeah. Won't be too much. There's a lot of like little steps, but yeah, the problem is, as you'll see here in a minute, we have lots of other things that are starting to happen too.
And take away our time from.
I don't know how we keep getting sidetracked, but there's always something to do.
It's because we live on a farm and we have animals, and those animals have needs.
So, speaking of, we're going to talk to you about a new project.
This is not necessarily our project.
Nope.
This is Adelai's project.
I know.
We're helping her with.
This is Adelai's first project. Like, she's wanting to pay for it. She's, like, planning it. Like, she's doing all this stuff. Of course, we've gotten roped into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We want to support her. So we're really excited. She is building a goat barn. Yeah.
Yeah, in a really unique way.
Well, here's the reason why. We have at least 3 goats that are pregnant.
Possibly 4.
Possibly 4. And they're all due in the end of February.
Yeah.
So we're on another time crunch. I don't know why we keep getting on these time crunches.
We've had enough goat births here to know that what we have now is awful. Like, our infrastructure is not great for kidding and cleanliness and like
milking too. So a big part of this is, Adelaide wants to increase our milk production. She wants to be, like you said, it needs to be more sanitary. It needs to have a more permanent setup that isn't like with all the other animal
something
feed
that can
and
be
stuff.
Cleaned really easily. Right now we're milking in the feed shed.
Yeah.
And it's just dust floor.
The temperature is all over the place. It's not very temperature regulated.
It's more the cleanliness. We'll have a completely separate milk room that is closed off from everything else and keep it really clean and sanitary.
And we need a nice, like, dry, clean area for when the goats are born, too.
Yeah, kidding stalls is the main thing.
Some stall, and really, we just need some animal stalls where we can put certain animals when we need to keep them separate from each other, right?
You know what I just thought of?
What?
Because we're going to have lockable stalls in there, if we needed to go somewhere, the dogs could go in there.
I almost said game changer.
Like, we've never had a place where we could keep the dogs, so either someone's staying home with them, or...
It would depend on the temperature, too, like, because that part's not going to be climate controlled.
Right,
but
of course.
Anyway. Yeah, so...
That got me excited.
I know. So the way Adelaide wants to do this, she has purchased a 40-foot shipping container.
Yes.
And we are in the process. Also, this is tied into some land purchase. So we're actually adding an acre to our property. We're refencing. We're moving some things around. we're bringing in this container, and then we're going to be doing a bunch of work inside to add the stalls and the separate room and all that stuff.
Wouldn't it be nice if it was just bring in a container and outfit it for a barn? But it's not that simple.
Nope. It's never that simple. There's always, I was talking to my mom yesterday, I was like, it's just like dominoes. It feels like dominoes all the time. It's like, you got to do this thing, to do this thing, to do this thing, to do this thing.
But before you can do that thing, you also have to do this.
And sometimes you do the dominoes in the wrong order, and then it's really frustrating, and then you got to start over. And
we may have spent an entire day yesterday mapping out where this container is going to go, and then we found out it can't do it the way we wanted to. So
it's a long story.
It's a long story that we'll explain later, but it's super frustrating to spend an entire day planning something, thinking you can do it a certain way.
When you have one assumption about a certain part of the process you can't control.
Nope.
And then you find out that it's not what you thought it was. Anyway, so listen, I know I said that Adelaide was paying for this, but we're thinking about doing sort of like a fundraiser for her to help cover the cost of most of this project. It's going to be really expensive. And
it's a huge expense, and she just works at a coffee shop.
Right, she doesn't have a huge income, and so that is going to be coming out really soon. I'm not going to tell you the name of it yet. I'm not going to share any more details.
Oh, can I just share a little detail?
Okay, sure, fine.
She is planning on making really cool things. It's almost like a Kickstarter type thing where you get different levels of
support. Yes.
Support, but also you get different levels of like cool things.
Yeah, like, we'll be mailing physical things to people that support.
That are super freaking cute.
A little package of stuff. It's gonna be it's a really cool idea. We've been working on it. We're almost done ironing, I can't say ironing. Ironing out all the details. We just got to put a video together sort of explaining the whole project and letting you all know about it. So yeah, we're so excited to be able to like support her and help her because she's so like passionate about the goats. We keep saying, so hey, we have a lot of goats. Could we have less goats? And she's like, no, these are my goats and I'm going to take care of them and I love them. And so, so we're going to do everything we can to make sure that they stay safe, especially with all these goat births that are coming up.
Yeah, so this is a project that has to be done by the end of February.
Right, yeah. Like we said, timelines. So we have to keep working on the house. The dome, we still need to keep working, but also there's a lot of time things involved with, the delivery of the container and then materials and all that stuff. So we're in the middle of all that. So that's fun. That's happening. What else? What else is going on? I'll tell you what's going on.
Oh.
I saw a comment. We're going to get to questions here in a minute, but saw a comment asking about a Hyper Adobe workshop.
Oh yeah.
We were planning another workshop for sure this spring, probably in March sometime.
For sure in March.
Yeah. Seems to be a good time of year. Details forthcoming, obviously, but we have a fun idea. We really liked with the Super Adobe workshop how everyone worked together towards a single goal. So if we do a week-long workshop, we don't want to just have people come out here and just slog away on the house for a whole week. We want everybody to come out and do something and like finish it. So we have a fun little project. Do we want to talk about it? I don't know what it is.
Well, we can say this. The main goal of this year for us is community. So the project will be based on a structure that will encourage community.
I like that. It's very good. All right. Yeah.
Very small structure, totally doable within a week.
Yes.
And then we get to enjoy it at the last day. With
the hope that maybe we'll even finish that structure early and then maybe get to work on the house a little bit.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, so as sort of a fun side project.
What other side project can we do?
I mean, there's so many we could do. But yeah, I think we, like we said at the end of last year when we were kind of recapping the whole year and sort of looking back, the community that we felt grow from that week-long workshop was really great, and we want to try to replicate that as much as we can.
And you just can't really do that with only like a 3-day workshop or something. So we're hoping we can do a whole nother week and have lots of people here and enjoy our community area at the end of it.
So so I always have to mention, if you're interested in either a workshop or we might even do some kind of work day, that's just like hey, if you're in the area, this is the day we need some help, or we might meet up at the coffee shop and just hang out for a little bit.
Sometimes it's very last minute too. So
it's usually very last minute.
Yeah, so if you're on that email list, we'll send out an email probably a couple days before.
Yeah, not for the workshop.
No.
We'll give you plenty of time. But yeah, tinyshinyhome.com/meetup. Just make sure your email is on there if it's not. And then any kind of event stuff, like I think we even, we may have mentioned this on our Facebook group the other day, and maybe in one of the videos, but there's an opt-out expo that's coming up here in this area in February. And so our meetup list got that email before everybody else because they're interested in in-person events, right? So make sure you're on that list so that we can let you know when any kind of event or meetup or anything like that is coming up. Yeah. What else is good? Oh, can I talk about something that I'm really excited about?
What is it?
Guys, I know this sounds crazy, but let me tell you, we are getting fiber internet run to our property. There's like a grant, and they're running fiber internet everywhere out here, which means I get to rethink our entire internet setup here in the homestead. Right now, we're doing a cell boosted internet, which we pulled the whole system from the Airstream and put it in here. You can see the wires coming down. We got booster antennas on the roof of the solar shed, and yeah,
it's funny how excited you get about this.
I'm excited because I know the kids are frustrated. Like it works, but we don't have a great like beaming situation from inside the shed with walls this thick to the Airstream with metal walls, and so like their internet over in the Airstream is a little flaky, and so we're gonna beef it up. I've been doing some research. It's gonna be a really fun, nerdy project that you wouldn't think of for a homestead, but we're trying to think and plan for the future. Like if we have multiple buildings, how do we get that internet to them?
When you basically live in a cave.
When you live in a cave or a metal building, yes, which signals do not go through. So yeah, we're pretty excited to have fast internet. Obviously we upload a lot of video, and so that will help us spend less time waiting on videos to upload. So yeah, pretty exciting.
Can I talk about something I'm excited about?
Yes, of course.
Shoot, it just left my head.
I will say though that this is like probably 6 months. It's going to be a while before they actually pull the cable and start the service. So we got a while. I just want to let you know I'm excited about it.
I had something that I was excited about, and now I forgot what it was.
Does it have to do with sushi?
It always has to do with sushi. We've not been in a long time.
I know.
It's supposed to rain on Sunday, so maybe we should go on Sunday.
Maybe a rainy
shopping
sushi day. Yeah.
No, what was it? There was something I was real excited about, and now I can't remember. We're just gonna have to keep talking, and it'll come later.
Okay. What else is going on? Do we have anything else going on?
Probably. We have a few things, but we can't talk about. But I had a list.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I think we covered it all.
We did.
Yeah.
Except, I have a question. It's been a long time since I've done any cooking segments.
Yeah.
Does anybody miss it? Crickets.
Leave a comment.
I'm just wondering if I should get back to cooking segments, because I kind of miss doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cooking all the time, but like I haven't recorded it.
Yeah. See, the problem is when you cook, then you have to do like the whole recipe thing, and it's so much work. Like
But
maybe
it's
you
fine.
could just cook and not give the recipe.
Oh, that doesn't seem nice.
Maybe you could.
I am really frustrated that I can't remember what I was going to say that I was excited about.
Can I see your phone so maybe we can start answering questions, and then maybe it will come to
Okay.
you. Yes. We lost the ringer switch here. Okay. All right, guys. It's time to answer some questions and go back through all the comments here. Hold on just a second.
Hey, someone said they miss cooking segments.
See? I told you.
Okay, because one person said that they missed it, I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to start doing it again.
Okay.
Do you remember how to do it? It's been so long since we did it live.
YouTube, come on now. Come on now. Here we go. All right. Make sure it's not going to make noise. There should be a better way to get to your comments on YouTube, I feel like.
More cheese. Oh, that's something I can talk about. Because Adelaide is making this whole separate milking station that's going to be extremely clean and sanitary, I am upping our cheese game. And because we're going to have more goats in milk. Usually we only have 2. So we're going to have at least 3, maybe 4 goats in milk at a time. That means I'm going to be making lots of cheese.
And ice cream.
New kinds of cheese.
And ice cream.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And ice cream.
Okay, but cheese. I've got a course from Sarah at Nest in the West. She has put together an amazing cheese course that I am going to go through each recipe and try every kind of cheese that she has in there. And it's like you can age cheddar, feta, like so many cheeses. Parmesan, I think she has Parmesan in there. Yeah, I'm real excited.
Okay.
I want to be able to make all of our dairy products. We'll have milk, cheese, ice cream, and maybe yogurt. I know you don't like yogurt, but I like yogurt, so I'm gonna make yogurt.
Gross. I'm glad you like it.
And sour cream. I could make my own sour cream.
It's a lot of stuff.
You're a lot of stuff.
Thanks. Okay, I'm ready to answer questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's the deal. Someone asked, why did we not put down plastic for the Tiny Shiny Dome Foundation?
Because we did gravel.
We did gravel bags, which means that we didn't need to wrap them in a vapor barrier because they won't retain moisture. Yeah, so it was an experiment.
Gravel was up above the, ground.
Right, so gravel, or a rubble trench of gravel, and then like the lower 2 or 3 bags until it actually came out of the ground were all gravel bags. So that's why we didn't have to put. Now we will have to do something when we do the floor, right? The floor
Yes.
inside, we'll do a vapor barrier for that.
Yeah, and we might even insulate it.
We might, we'll see, yeah. When do the concrete floors go down in the house? No idea.
Well, here's the thing. Let's talk about how much concrete costs.
Concrete has gotten
The
expensive.
plan was, when we are done with course number 4, to make sure those walls are super level and use that as a screed to pour our concrete floors.
But you know what, the more I thought about that, with the vapor barrier and the hardware cloth, I don't think that would have worked.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's the new plan. The new plan is just build the walls. We'll deal with the floor later.
Yep.
Either we'll have Wilcox come and pour it, which is, I'm really hoping we can afford by then. Or
That's the
we're
same
going to
ideas.
have to do it in 4-foot sections and pour it ourselves.
Yep. And we have some ideas for how to do that faster.
Yeah.
There's some cool products out there that could help us be able to do it ourselves, which would be kind of cool. And we could do it in sections and even make forms that are like unique shapes, so it's not just a bunch of like squares.
It would be cool to do it ourselves, but you know it would be even cooler to have it done in a day.
Agreed. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know.
It all
we're learning
depends
this.
on if
Yeah.
we have the cash at the time.
Sorry. Someone said, "How do I help fund the build of the goat?"
Oh,
we'll
it's
let you
coming
know.
very
Yeah,
soon.
we'll let you
We're
know.
working on a really fun video that explains all of that, and also people have been asking how they could donate to all of the projects here on the homestead. I'm putting together a list of all the things that upcoming expenses if you wanted to help with that.
That's true. We've had 2 people buy us wheelbarrows.
Yeah, thank you.
And then, so yeah, we're gonna try to make
There's
a
just-
list of specific tools we know we're gonna need if someone wants to.
What I think would be really cool is hey, do you want to buy a 2x8 for us? We'll
Whoa,
write your.
whoa.
We could no listen. I'm serious because we could write their name, and how cool would that be to have people's names that helped us in our house? You could put it on the door frame,
That'd be cool.
and then we have memories in there.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool.
Oh, here's a good question. Someone.
Can I wait before I'm gonna forget? Because if I don't say it, can I just say it real quick? Because I'll forget. You know how I am.
Okay.
One other thing I thought would be really cool
I
is
don't know if you should. What if we don't do it?
okay, never mind.
We have details to work out. Still.
I have so many plans.
I know you do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Someone said, when Hayden came, did he have any gifts? Can you get the gift that he gave us? Guys, just hold on a second. This is really cool. Anytime. Are you there? No, not that. He gave me a metric tape measure. Look at this! It's a tiny shiny dome.
He made it.
He made it and brought it all the way from Australia.
And it didn't crack.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's actually what my tattoo is based off of.
Yeah.
So yes, he did bring gifts.
And he brought the kids Vegemite.
Well, he got that here, but
it also hasn't been opened.
no. Sorry, Hayden, not yet. Maybe we'll be brave enough to try it one day.
We're not there yet. After I found out how it's made, it's still shut.
Is Hayden coming back for the Hyper Adobe workshop? Probably not in the spring.
No, hopefully he's coming back next November. Maybe not to this homestead.
Yeah.
He might be at a
Might
different
be a road trip.
location. We might be road tripping it.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's still a lot to plan.
But he is coming back.
Someone asked if we were using a background filter. Nope, we're just in the solar shed.
A background filter?
Yeah, because the bottles and everything look really cool.
Oh.
Yep. Nope, it's just in here.
Do I have to touch everything for people to believe me?
It's real, I promise. Okay. Someone says ubiquity Wi-Fi point-to-point wireless option. Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking at. A big, beefy Unify system. I'm very excited.
Nerd Central. I'm excited that you're excited because that's something that I don't get excited about.
I think you'll be excited when you're not like, curse you internet, like
when we
3
don't
times
have
a
to
day.
restart it every hour. Yeah.
We're on this, we're using a hotspot, and AT&T really doesn't like that we're using a lot of data on the hotspot. So we just have to reboot it all the time because they're always like, we're going to slow you down a little bit. And then we're just like, ah. So it would be nice to not have to do that.
Or we could just be totally off grid and not have any cell signal.
Well, then we wouldn't get to talk to anybody.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah. Lots of yes for cooking comments.
Oh, good.
So you know.
It's coming back then.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes.
I wish there's got to be a way to like have people write in what like suggestions of recipes that I could make. That would be fun. If someone's like, make this, and I can make it.
But what if you don't want to make it?
Well, then I have choices. Like if other people like, I have a whole list of, I'm like, oh, I should do this one.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that'd be fun.
Well, I don't have time to set it up, so you'll have to figure it out.
Okay.
I have too many other online things to set up right now.
Okay.
Like a goat barn
Yeah.
Kickstarter.
And some other things.
And some other things, yes. Someone said, how cold is it here in Arizona where we're at right now? It is exactly 42 degrees right now.
It's gonna be 68.
It's going to be almost 70 degrees today. And it's been almost 70
Yesterday,
all week.
I was sweating.
Yeah.
It was so
It was hot.
Like you had shorts and t-shirt on and it was still hot.
But the week before, it was like in the teens.
Yeah.
And wouldn't get above 40 or something. So like, I think we're in a weird warm spell, but I'm not complaining because we're getting a lot of work done. For sure. Someone said, they miss your cooking segments, but they went keto, so it's hard to watch.
Oh.
We need to do some more meat-based recipes.
We need to buy a cow.
Yeah, we do. Lots more for cooking and cheese. Okay, here's a question. Good question. On the dome, what does that little gap between the ground and the stucco where you put the black hose? So the Hayden called it a render stop. So the idea is like all of our other buildings, our exterior plaster is on the wall and it goes down into the ground.
Like below grade.
Like below the ground. Even the paint, it all goes below ground. So like theoretically, if it rained a lot and the ground got saturated, it could work its way back up the plaster. And so you could end up with some bubbling of the paint or blowing out of the plaster all around the base of the building. So the idea behind the render stop is that all your exterior plaster comes down to that black plastic tube and stops. And then everything below that are the gravel bags. So they aren't going to retain moisture anyway.
And you would typically like backfill up to that render stop.
Yeah, so we're going to cover the render stop, and But yeah, the idea is that because the plaster goes to that plastic piece, even if the soil goes up to it, it shouldn't be able to travel back up behind that plaster and cause problems over time. It's an experiment.
It's all an experiment. Yeah. We haven't had any issues with that, but we also haven't had a lot of standing water near our buildings. We try to grade away from them as much as possible.
That's true. We build up so that no water is ever, it's always going away from the building, which you should do anyway. But, you know, sometimes if the rain is going sideways, it'll just hit the wall and it'll come down, and then that could potentially cause that kind of problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just, you know, we've got what, 4 earth bag buildings now?
Do we?
Yeah. Chicken garden, Casa de Caca, solar shed,
dome.
And the dome. Yep. And they're all built a little bit differently, so we're just keeping an eye on everything, and we're trying to learn as much as we can. Mm-hmm. I think we've learned everything we can going into the house, but who knows? We might even learn something else with the house, and the next building we might do something else. We'll see.
Something else.
Are we still filming on iPhones only? Yeah, other than our drone, and we do have a little GoPro that we use every once in a while. But yeah, all just iPhones. Someone says your plaster work is out of this world good.
Aww.
I agree.
Thanks.
Someone says we should get Starlink until fiber shows up. So here's the problem with Starlink. Their upload speeds are garbage here.
Is it just because of where we are?
No, their download speeds are pretty good, but their upload speeds are way slower than what we're getting off of our cell phone based stuff. So not really worth the crazy high expense. We almost got it till we saw the upload speeds, and it's like $500 or $600 now just for the hardware. The fiber they're running, it's all on a grant, so they're basically running everything to our property for free, like up into our property wherever we want it for free, and then we just have to create the Wi-Fi network after that. So we're gonna skip Starlink for now, I think. Keep scrolling on me. Sorry guys, hold on. Did we ever name the dome? We never did we?
No, I have funny names for it, but nobody likes my names for it.
We've got a few people asking about the swale, the berm and the swale. So this last year it did not rain, so we don't have a ton of progress. I mean, most of the trees are still alive. Like, we specifically planted these trees to be drought tolerant, but that means that they didn't grow a lot. Also, we had a ton of activity on some of the berms, like during the workshop, and we killed a lot of our grass. There's a few places where it's just bare now because we had so much just foot travel going over. And also just the lack of
rain. Like the first year we had so much rain, things were popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just the lack of rain, I think that's the problem.
That and the dogs.
Yeah.
The dogs just tear through and over and around.
They think it's super fun to climb on the berm.
They're digging holes all in it. Maybe they're finally, like, I feel like in the next year we'll be getting out of that puppy phase, and hopefully it'll slow down a little bit, maybe.
Just in time for Adelaide to get another.
No.
She really wants another dog, and I keep saying no, no,
no. Where are we? So berm and swale, there's, you know, it's still there. It's still doing its job. You know, when it rains, it's still catching that water and protecting. But I think I've left, I have a few people ask about it in the comments. And the thing we have to reiterate about the berm and the swale is it's a very long-term project. It's like, you're not going to see huge differences for 5 to 10 years probably. So we may do little updates here and there, but there's just not a lot to share. Like, it's just there, it's doing its thing.
Hopefully on the next big rain we'll be able to catch some video of it, but
right, yeah. And I think the biggest thing is, like, we want to see those trees grow faster, but without doing some big upgrades like on our water pump and our water storage, it's just going to take time. We're not going to be able to give them fire hoses of water for a while. But yeah, they shouldn't die. They should keep growing. But yeah. So just it's a long-term project.
I think in total, out of the 77 trees we've planted, I think we've lost 7.
Yeah, not many. Not many at all. And the ones that are there they're doing good, but they're not
You know,
they
they're not
haven't
like
reached
6
that
feet
like
tall.
no, they haven't reached that like 3 year mark where they
Yeah.
really start to grow. So they still look kind of similar. So it's like, yeah, we'll let you know in a year or two maybe. Let's see. See, it keeps scrolling on me. How many courses on the house have been completed?
Almost today will be 3.
Yeah, yeah.
We're finishing course 3 today. Like as soon as we're off here, we're working.
Someone says they like your dreads. How would they start?
Don't brush your hair.
Don't brush your hair? And you gotta mess with it, right? To get it started?
Like the first year, you're separating them a lot and pulling them. I don't really want to talk about dreads. There's lots of information on here.
Look up dreading on the internet.
You
will find videos.
Free form dreads.
Yeah, you didn't have them like professionally done. Like you
No.
just did them yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they turned out really good. I like them. I like them a lot.
I might shave my head. We might shave our head.
I don't know about that.
What if we all shaved our heads at the same time?
Oh my gosh.
You know that family that's building their house and they all shave their heads?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Maybe. We'll see.
Hey, here's a question.
What?
Are we going to put a wood stove in the house?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Maybe 2.
Where's the other one going to go?
In our room. Remember?
I don't know if we ever
For
answered
sure 1. Maybe 2.
that.
For sure 1 in the living room. But it's not just a wood stove. Can I talk about it for a minute?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. The cook stove I really want is it's from a company overseas. I think they might be in New Zealand. I can't remember. It's called HOMESTEAD. That's the company name. And they have 3 different sizes. The one I really want, we're not getting, but
She's already picked it up.
the medium one, I think it's called the Companion. But it's not just a wood stove. Like it's not just like a fireplace. It's a stove that I can use.
You can actually cook
like it's
with.
got an oven and burners on top.
It's kind of like back in the frontier days where like they would have a wood stove that a small part of it that would burn and sort of radiate and heat the house, but then they could also cook with it at the same time.
So the plan is that's going to heat the house in the winter. We still will have mini splits and stuff if we
It'll
need
heat
them.
the big room. The big room is what
Yeah.
is gonna. The mini split's not gonna heat that big room
Right.
all by itself. Yeah.
So in the winter, I'll be cooking on the wood stove as well as using it to heat the house.
Sweet.
Sweet. Homewood stove. Homewood cook stove? Homewood stove, something like that. Anyway, look it up. It's really cool. Small family owned. Adorable family. Beautiful house. Did you see their house that they made?
Whose house?
The Homewood stove people.
No, I didn't.
I gotta show it to you.
Okay.
It's really cool.
Sorry, I'm looking for questions here. Hold on.
I still haven't thought about what the thing was that I was excited about.
Still haven't? You still forgot, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Must not be very exciting.
Here's a good question. Do we shower in the outdoor with the colder temperatures? It depends on the wind.
I think this past week was the first week we haven't used it
Yeah.
regularly.
I think what we've discovered is that it's still fairly comfortable to about 45 degrees because it's open air.
We've even done it like when it's 30 degrees, but the
No,
key
not
is
30 degrees. We've never done it below freezing.
well in the 30s. It was like 38 when I did it once. Anyway, it was really cold, and we just can't do it when it's windy because that's miserable.
Well, yeah, because since it's not enclosed on the top, the wind will just blow that, and then and then when you turn it off, then you're freezing in the wind until you get dried off. So anyway, I didn't think we would use it at all this winter, but we've actually been using it a decent amount, all things considered. Yeah.
Until the other day when I took the propane to get filled, and then now it doesn't work.
They messed up our propane tank, so we're gonna have to go figure that out. Sorry, funny name for the dome, which we won't repeat here. Still don't remember, huh?
Nope.
Don't remember?
I also just was looking at my plants, and I have to water those today. Don't let me forget.
Okay. A few people asking about rocket mass stoves.
No.
Why?
Because I would like to move into our house soon. I don't want another thing to build right now.
Yeah.
It's not just as simple as that's like a whole at least a month project to build in there, and I could just bring in a wood stove and run it up through the ceiling and be done. Like, right. I love rocket mass heaters. I think they're a great idea, but that's not what I want.
We have about 10 million projects to do in the house already.
Yeah, I mean, we think about it, like, all of our furniture is going to be, like, not all of it, but most, like, our kitchen is going to have to be custom made. Like, all these things are going to have, like, we're going to have to learn how to build cabinets and all these things. I don't want another thing to add on to the list that pushes us out from being able to live in there.
I'm sure at some point we will build an earthbag building with a rocket mass heater stove.
Maybe in our tiny retirement home.
Right. Maybe the next kid dome. I don't know. I'm sure we'll get to it eventually. But yeah, like,
yeah,
we have too many other things going on.
Also, I really want the wood cook stove because in the winter, again, I want to be able to cook on it and
multi-purpose.
Yeah. I don't want just a warm bench.
Yeah. Okay, here's a good question. The tiny shiny dome. Did we ever consider lime plaster on the outside?
No.
We've had a very long, like years-long experimentation with exterior plasters. And for a number of reasons, we have come to the conclusion that we need fiberglass reinforced stucco along with elastomeric to protect our buildings because we get extreme weather out here. We get crazy rains, crazy winds, crazy hail, wide temperature fluctuations. And we tried some lime plasters and they all cracked, and like we just have not had the natural plasters as much as we wish we could use them. We're still doing natural on the inside, but all of our exterior plasters are having to be cement, fiberglass reinforced, possibly even with lath like we did for the dome, because all of those exterior plasters have failed over time because of the extreme weather here.
Also haven't seen it done successfully. There is one group of people that have done earthen plasters like down in the Hereford area, but I've not been there. They have way bigger overhangs on their buildings, which helps protect it.
It's another thing with the dome. It's all wide open. Like there's no protection for any of that plaster.
Also, an earthen plaster is always going to need upkeep, whether it's a year from then or 3 years. Like I kind of want to get it done and not think about it for 20 years.
Right.
Like I don't want the maintenance. Like we have too many other things that we need to do. I don't want to come back and fix plaster every year.
Yeah. So that's where we're at now. And it depends on your climate. Like for whatever reason, this particular area where we're close enough to the mountains, we get sort of an extreme version of weather that a lot of other places don't. And so this is what we found is like all the other people that have successfully done earthen plasters, we've tried their recipes and they don't work here.
And we visited places where they tell you how to plaster and it still is not working.
Right.
So it's just like every climate is going to be different. Even from here and across the mountain, like it's completely different. So you just have to do a lot of experiments and see what works for where you are.
All right, let's see. Where did we get the round bed from for the solar shed? I think we got it off Amazon, didn't we?
Yeah.
Of all places, yeah.
I would still like to replace it with just a normal bed with storage underneath.
Mm-hmm.
I want a tall bed that I can put 5-gallon buckets under because I have a lot of things that I would like to buy in bulk
And store.
and store.
We can't do that.
And right now they're just buckets everywhere, and it drives Jonathan crazy.
It does, yeah.
And so it'd be nice if we could just get a tall bed and store buckets under it.
Yeah. Someone said, if we get a wood stove, where are we going to get the wood?
We have mesquites everywhere. And also, there is a national forest nearby that you can get a permit to collect their fallen trees.
That could be a whole thing. That'd be fun.
It would be fun.
We won't need it for a while, like, you know,
Yeah.
and I don't think...
And it would only be like 2 months out of a year that we're running it. Like, it's not...
Yeah, it's not like in
all the
Alaska, you know, where you're getting
9 months.
like
Wood.
10 cords of wood. Like, we're not going to need that much wood to do what we need to do in the winter. So, which
It's
is
also-
good because it's proportionate. Because yeah, the trees are smaller here. There's not as many.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be a huge problem. But I mean, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully it's not a problem.
I don't think it'll be a problem.
No.
Like, it's such a small amount of time that we would be using it.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not like we have to keep it going all night. You know, start it in the morning and keep the house warm in the day.
Are we gonna have a washing machine?
Yes.
Heck yeah,
We're going to wash a machine and maybe even a dryer.
definitely a dryer.
For the winter and for like when it's raining and I can't hang stuff outside, it'd be really nice to be able to dry stuff a little quicker.
Right, like I'd say probably from like late spring to late fall, we can hang our clothes out and dry them. But there's a good chunk of like probably 3+ months.
Even when I hang it like now, it takes too long.
It doesn't dry. It won't dry.
Yeah.
It won't dry in a single day, and then then it's gonna get cold and wet overnight potentially. So yeah, we're definitely going to have a real dryer. The question is whether we run it off propane or solar. That's what we are still we're still planning the power system a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah. Where do we put our clothes? Well, we have a small chest inside the solar shed for us, and we have plenty of storage. Well, no, I won't say plenty, but we have a huge cabinet in the bathroom in the Airstream that the kids
When
use.
we traveled, we used to put our clothes in bags about this big. We each had 2 bags,
Yeah.
and that was the amount of clothes we had.
We also needed less clothes because we
traveled with the weather.
We traveled with the weather. We tried to hit, the 70-ish degree mark, so we didn't have a ton of winter clothes. And also now that we have animals and stuff, like we have a lot of like big, heavy work clothes, like that we don't mind getting dog hair and stuff all over. But you got to be able to store it somewhere. So Adela is very excited when she gets the dome to be able to put all her clothes, because as she's gotten a job, she's like, I would like to buy this and this and this. And now she's starting to run out of room because she has a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's excited to have a little bit of storage in the dome.
I'm excited, and we were doing some more calculations on the kids' bathroom, and we realized that bathroom is huge. So I'm going to make a custom cabinet in there that they can put all their off-season clothes and linens and towels in that. It's going to be a ton of storage in that bathroom. And then in their rooms, they'll have a dresser with seasonal clothes.
Yeah, that'll be exciting for sure.
It'll be really exciting. What's hilarious is we started traveling with the kids when Ada was 3. So she doesn't remember a whole lot about living in a house. And so, last year I had to explain to her the difference between a closet and a dresser. She was like, what is it? And so we had to have a lesson on what a closet was. Like, we went to someone's house. I'm like, this is a closet that opens. It usually has doors.
Yeah.
And you store your clothes in there. But this is also a dresser that you could store your clothes in. Like, so it was just cute that she hadn't had those things. So it was funny.
It'll be a whole new world once we get a house, for sure.
Very exciting.
Someone says we might have to build our own bed. Not for the solar shed. We can fit it. We have a king size bed in here now with rounded edges sticking off of it. So if we put a normal king size bed, we'd actually have more room to walk around. Now the dome is a whole other thing. What? Yes.
Do you think that we could do that sometime this year?
I don't know. We'll see. Depends on how much money we spend on the house. In the
No,
dome.
the dome is going to be a custom bed because it's going to be nearly half of that dome is bed.
So it'll be flat on one side, circular on the other.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be very custom and different. And
I'm excited to make that.
Yeah, it'll be neat. We're gonna build in some power stuff into it and maybe some storage. Yeah, so it'll be a fun little different kind of project. I think we don't do a lot of like.
I haven't got to
woodworking
make
projects.
a wood project in a long time.
I know.
You know, besides like door frames.
I know.
That
That doesn't really count, does it?
Something I've never made drawers before, but I'm gonna attempt making a couple of drawers for her.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, here's a good question. Are you going to be stuccoing as you come up with the walls to protect the bottom bags?
Nope.
No, because they're wrapped with the vapor barrier and the hardware cloth, so they're actually like super protected.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. And plus, we're using UV protected bags from Boom, and they can be exposed for like 4 years, and they won't be.
No.
Because we will not take 4 years to build this house.
Yeah, we're definitely going to focus on building up the walls, getting the roof on, and getting it closed in. And then that way we've got more time to work on the inside. And hopefully we can even get our permit closed by having the exterior finished as much as possible.
We'll see.
That's the goal. Let's see. Do you know what a walapini is?
Yes, it's an underground greenhouse.
Someone says they're thinking of doing a walapini with adobe bags for the walls. Do you think that would work okay?
As long as they're stepped out like a retaining wall, yes. Don't go vertical underground because all that pressure from the ground, and if the ground gets saturated, the walls are going to want to come in. So step your walls out as you're building it, and it should be good.
Yeah, and obviously at the top, the same idea applies. You want to build up so that water can't sheet flow into it, right?
Oh yeah, with a walapini usually, is that how you say it? I think that's how you say it. You usually come up out of the ground like a foot or two, and then there's a roof structure over it. It just depends on how tall you want it, but most of it's underground to like regulate temperature. That's kind of what I wanted to do with the original pit, an underground greenhouse.
Yeah. Someone said, have you thought about metallic paint on the dome? Actually, I did. I thought it would be really cool to like flex some like metallic paint on it just to give it just a little bit of the shimmery, like the dome that Hayden made for it.
Wants that.
She's considering it.
We'll see.
We'll see. Are we going to get a milk cow one day? Yeah.
Not until we have a house with a refrigerator and more storage. Yes.
Yes.
I would like a mini Jersey or a mini Devon.
Someone said they have a tall bed with 9 6-gallon buckets holding it up.
Well, see, I don't want that. I want to be able to
No,
lift.
it's a joke. Yeah.
Oh, it was a joke?
Yeah. She wants to be able to get her buckets out. That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
But just so you know, if you wanted to put it up on...
You know what a pain that would be, how often I get to those buckets.
Be like, come hold the corner. Okay. Slide it out.
No. I know there's a bed you can fit a 5-gallon bucket under it, and it lifts it up. Like it has gas assist to where I can do it myself.
That would be cool. Hey, how are our ramps working? Good. We have one more ramp to build, and we have to install it in probably the most difficult spot. The only problem we've had with the ramp so far is we had to move. We installed one, and we had to move it because we were trying to do the compass and check our wall circumference or diameter, and it was in the way because of where we had installed it, and we had to move it. That's the only problem we've had with it. Otherwise, they were great. What?
I wasn't there, so I don't remember that.
That's true, you were not there, but we had to move it.
Okay.
And we need to put it back.
Okay.
Do we have any more questions? I feel like we're getting close. Food pantry?
Oh, guys. Just wait till you see my pantry. going to be amazing.
Yeah, there's going to be a really cool pantry.
Really
it won't be
cool.
like a root cellar pantry, but it'll have a pretty good
It's
amount
not
of storage.
going to be like the biggest walk-in pantry that you've ever seen, but it's going to serve its purpose, and it's going to be beautiful more than anything. I've got some really cool ideas for that one.
Yeah. Someone said, did the dogs eat the Indiana Jones hat? Nope, they didn't. It's just a little chilly this morning. There it is. What is the build we are most proud of? That's a
Solar
good question.
shed.
You think?
For me.
I mean...
Mostly because it's complete.
Yeah. I will say that the Airstream cover, I'm pretty proud we did that too, because that was like a whole set of skills.
That was a whole new learning thing.
We did not have, and I'm surprised that we got it done so quickly. And like,
did it really fast.
I know.
But I'm mostly proud of this because this was our very first building ever.
That's true, yeah.
And
I feel like we really thought through it. Like, it's the use case for it. It is still super functional, and we're like using it all the time. So,
do we wish it was a little bigger? Sure.
I mean, maybe, but it can't be bigger because it needs to be under 200 square feet.
Yep. But it is. I'm really proud of it. Like, just knowing that we all touched every corner of this, like we put all the dirt in here and did it as a family. It's just really cool. Well, I still haven't thought of what I was excited about, so I guess I'll be excited later for it when I find out.
Yeah.
I can't remember at all.
Are we planning on more solar panels?
Yes.
Absolutely.
We're actually building a completely new power system for the house. Like at least double, if not triple, what we have now.
Yeah. This is a good size system for a couple of buildings and for doing, some like water transfers and like welders and stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to be building a much bigger system. Also, we might be adding some solar to this system on the roof of the Airstream cover.
Probably in the spring.
Yeah, we could use a couple thousand more watts for this system if we have another summer like we did last year. Last year really put the system, was like right up against the edge of not quite being enough solar to get the batteries refilled because we were using so much power. Also, another way to make that better would be to replace the air conditioner on the Airstream with a mini split style air conditioner.
That's a whole thing that I don't want to deal with right now.
Those RV air conditioners, I don't understand why they're so inefficient, but it is by far the highest draw of like anything that we have out here. It's like a constant 1500 watt draw. And when you're trying to keep that Airstream with walls this thick cool, it just sucks the batteries down. So
it was definitely one of the best investments that we've done here on the property is getting that Airstream covered for the summer.
Yeah,
It made a huge difference.
Last summer was really, really rough, but even then we noticed a huge difference in the ability for that air conditioner to keep up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
Well,
it was a tough summer.
What's strange too is everybody out here said that last year was the hottest year that they remember. But we felt like 2020 was the hottest year, and I think it was just because we had zero shade. Mm-hmm. So it made a huge difference because we didn't even realize it was the hottest.
Yeah. Have we ever thought about a music studio? Yeah, actually.
I miss having time for music.
Yeah.
I don't even listen to the radio in the car anymore.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad? When we have a house, I have like these visions of like in the morning I walk down the hallway to the living room and I turn on a record player and I make breakfast while everybody's like waking up.
A record player?
Yeah, I want a record player.
Oh, jeez, we haven't talked about that. I was going to be running like speaker wire and stuff.
That's fine. But I still want to have a record player.
Well, we might look into some nerdier options. We'll see.
No, I want records. Wouldn't that be cool? I don't know. I want to put music on and make breakfast, and then everybody comes out in their pajamas, and they're like, "Oh, I slept so good. I slept so good," and then we have breakfast.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what I'm looking forward to.
That's funny. Someone says we'll be stretching the off-grid label if we have fiber optic. Not really. I think the off-grid terminology, it doesn't apply to internet anymore. If you live off grid remotely,
Everybody has
generally
internet.
you need some type of internet connection.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It would make our lives a lot easier.
I don't consider internet to be a requirement for being off grid at all, personally. But if that's how you feel, that's your thing. So no,
Yeah.
I mean, like, some people really want to be totally off the grid
Yeah.
and not connected, and that's fine.
But this is our job.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, it's our job to make these videos. We have kids that need to learn online because they're homeschooled. There's a number, and just resource and access to education. Like, there's no reason. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you kind of need internet if you're out here, but there's some places where you just can't get it. And some people don't want to be connected to that stuff, which is totally fine. What about a full class in person to do more solar? Oof, that's a liability waiting to happen. I don't think so. We'll stick to earth bags.
Yeah, that's just too much responsibility.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in charge of someone hurting themselves.
Have you thought about running DC and minimizing the AC? Yeah, we have a lot of DC systems here on the property, but
Well, for the house even, you were talking about doing like a dual system.
I might have a backup DC system for sure. But no, for a house as many people as will be in this house, and we're trying to make it livable and comfortable and have things like ovens and stoves and dryers and freeze dryers and water heaters.
This house is going to operate like a normal house.
Yeah, you need AC power. You just need it.
We're not living in a cave. We are going to have luxuries. We're going to have 2 flushing toilets, guys.
If it was just like me, I could totally live off DC power. No problem. But no, like for this size project and this size house and the power usage that we're going to need, it's got to be AC power. Yeah.
Can I talk about my end goal for this house? Well, not my end goal, but like one of my main goals for the house.
Okay.
I want to make the inside, I can see it in my head. I haven't been able to draw it because I'm not good at drawing, but I can see it in my head, like the color scheme, the walls. I can see all of like the decor and stuff. And like my goal is that it'll be so nice looking that other companies will want to come and do product shoots in our house.
Oh yeah.
There's like, there's a whole thing of like companies that search for unique shooting locations to shoot their products. So they like rent a house for 24 hours and come and do all their, So that's kind of like I would think that would be so cool if someone thought it was cool enough to come and shoot their products at our place. Although we'd have to leave for like a day, but
yeah,
I think that'd be cool. Or we'll just shoot our own products at our house.
We could do that too. Yeah. You know what? We've been talking for a long time.
Oh,
it's over an hour.
Okay.
We told the kids we were working at 9.
Yeah, we gotta get out there.
We got some earth bags to lay.
So much bag.
So much bag today. How much was it? 150 feet?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah, our goal is to finish course 3 today. That's the plan. So we're going to jump off here. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us on this beautiful Friday morning. Mm-hmm. We'll be back Monday, hopefully Monday, with a video. We'll let you know.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We got to finish a couple of things to make that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're almost there, and we can't wait to share more about this goat barn container project that is ramping up quickly.
Yeah. Make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss that video coming out hopefully next week, right?
Yes.
And jump on the email list for future workshops that are coming up in March and further on, like later on in the year, because we want to have a lot of community here this year.
Yep, absolutely. All right. See you guys. Have a good weekend.